All right, give praise, honor, and esteem to the Most High Yah. By way, Yah, go to John 5.
It says, search the scriptures, for in them ye think ye have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I'll come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another should come in his own name, him you will receive. Mm-hmm. How can ye believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that cometh from Elohim only? Mm-hmm. Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom ye trust. Mm-hmm. For had ye believed in Moses, ye would have believed in me, for he wrote of me. But if ye believe not his writings, how shall ye believe my words?
Isaiah 52:7. After that, Numbers chapter 24 and verse 6.
How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, and publisheth shalom, and bringeth good tidings of good, and publisheth salvation, that saith, Zion, thy Elohim reigneth.
Pause. Now we talked about Elohim reigning, and what we talked about last night was this. The reign of Elohim is just not him taking over all of these kingdoms and nations. We already read a verse. He said the whole earth was his anyway. Do you understand? We will look at certain aspects of that. If you're talking about the kingdom of Elohim, that means this man rules in your heart. How many of you right now say the kingdom of Elohim is inside of you? And tell the truth. Is there anybody right now by the show of their hand they can say the kingdom of Elohim is inside of them? And if you cannot open your mouth and say that, then what is your major malfunction? Because why is this man not reigning in your mortal body? Because he should be reigning in you. There's not a single solitary excuse for anyone in this room for not allowing this man to reign in you when you say he your king. What type of sense does that make? Why does he not have dominion over your actions, your thoughts, your spirit, or your heart? You have no excuse. Your only reason why this man don't have dominion over you is because you refuse to allow him to reign over you. You want to rule and have dominion over your own self. That's the only option. There is no other option. There's no, well, sometimes it's all excuses and no one wants to hear it, because he's definitely not going to want to hear it when you stand before his throne and he open the books and your name ain't in it. Does that bother you that there's a possibility that your name is not in this man's book? Have you thought about your name not being in this man's book? And what type of terror did it bring to your heart when that thought crossed your mind? And if no terror came in your heart when that thought crossed your mind, you are a depraved individual. You know what I'm saying? Because that should be very, at the name of Yahuwah, your knees should shake. Because him leading to something right this here, right? I read this earlier. I'm going to ask all the women this question first, and then I'll allow the men to answer this question. That's why I mentioned to y'all about the gentleman Miles Monroe. He did speak a little incorrectly, but I got the gist of what he was saying. Since you're in my first eyesight, I will ask you. What, in your opinion, at this very moment, do you feel like is required for a man to feel like you love him? That you have to show to him that he will feel like he's loved? Trust, very well then. Ma, you can go next because you're just going to go down the line. What does a man have to have shown to him the way he feels that he is loved? All right, Leisha, it's your turn. Good grief, nigga.
Okay. That, you know, that was it, man. It's just like.
No, I said for you. That's not no main. I asked you. Well, then repeat it then. You all two can abstain because we already had this conversation. You got to give me something. Well, you think about it. Little Muffin, what you got? Appreciation. What you got, Lee? Respect. Now, what about you?
Yeah, them options they took off the table.
They've been there
I just say that if you can. Well, nevertheless, now I'm going to ask the men, what do you feel that your wife needs to show you for you to feel to be loved?
Yeah, I would say faith and love.
Not love, because I'm talking about what does she have to show, what does she have to do in her behavior for you to feel like this woman loves me?
She got faith in me and the decisions I make for my family.
He said, go ahead, Stanley. Go ahead, sir. I mean, yeah, never mind. Go ahead.
Re-ask the question again.
What does a woman need to show you for you to believe that woman loves you? What does she have to do? What does she need to do for you? This is different for every individual for the most part, but it is one common denominator. Well, we'll come back to you. What you got, Darius? What about you, Dwight?
I need affection and support.
What about you, sir? Cool. And what about you?
Support.
Cool. Now, the reason that the gentleman who had this conversation that was mentioned, he was speaking according to the text, and it's respect. Do y'all know the definition of respect is? Does anybody know what it is? If not, I'll read it to you.
Word-wise or wealth?
Just period. It means it's going to mean the same in a word.
I thought respect was treating somebody how you want to treat.
No. Yes, it is. It's honor. Respect is a deep admiration for someone, elicited by their abilities, their qualities, or their achievements. Esteem and regard and reverence or deference or honor to this individual. The reason why that was important, because we read a verse in Deuteronomy, and what did he say in Deuteronomy that you needed to do towards him? You needed to what? Fear him. Mean respect him. The reason why this is important, see, most of y'all women don't necessarily hear that, but you hear men say this all the time. I want my what? Respect. Because respect is very, very paramount when you're dealing with a man. See, what's the first thing that the book tells you in Ephesians that a woman should do to her wife? That a wife should do towards her husband? To obey him in all things, or to respect him, or to honor him. Now, he said the book didn't tell a woman to love her husband, but that's incorrect. Because Titus, it does tell the older women to teach the younger women to love their own husbands. You know what I'm saying? See, for a woman, respect may not be as necessarily as a big thing for her as it is for that man. See, a woman wants respect in, don't cheat on me and don't call me outside of my name. Things of this nature. But a man wants to know that his abilities are admired, that they're, you know what I'm talking about? That you hold him in high regard. Because if you don't hold this man, that's why I mentioned this before, right? How many of y'all have ever re-respected somebody you lost respect for? Because if you had respect for somebody, you really re-respected somebody. That is amazing. You are the first person in my almost 38 years of living I've ever heard say that. You're a strong woman. I've never heard that in my entire life.
You said re-respect?
I ain't never re-respected nobody I lost respect for.
Sure, I lost respect for a person that stole from me, and then he apologized and admitted, and I respect him for that.
No, I ain't talking about respect you for what you did. I'm talking about respect you. I can
Forgive and forget.
I don't mean I respect you. I ain't never re-respected nobody. Once I lost respect. No, we're not talking about an action, meaning I had respect for you. Nah, I don't. I ain't never re-respected nobody. Oh no, I've never. You special, and I ain't being funny because I've never heard that before. What that mean? No, that don't mean no disrespect. Meaning that I show a lack of honor towards you. That don't mean I have to, just because you my grandma, mama, sister, brother, daddy, don't mean I have to respect you. Meaning I don't respect you as a man or woman. That doesn't mean I will disrespect you.
That still can be misconstrued. Because you said, listen what I say for you interject. Because if we're saying that the definition of respect is honor, and the book telling you to honor your father and your mother, and you say you don't respect them.
I mean, if I'm honoring you, that means I honor your authority over me. But I don't, look here, right? I can show respect. I've shown respect to people I do not respect. Do you know what I'm saying? I can tell you I do not respect you as a man because of this, this, and this. That does not mean that I will come and dishonor you by my behavior because I don't respect you. You know what I'm saying? I don't respect Donald Trump. I wouldn't dishonor him if I met him. I'm not going to call him out of his name and crack jokes on him. He's the president of the United States. I'm going to give respect to your office. The same way I could give respect to my mother, my father because of their office. I don't have to respect you, though. It's people in this world who I got respect for you because you're black. I don't respect you as a man. You're not worthy of respect. You know what I'm saying? You're a dishonorable douchebag, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm talking about? See, that's you can have no respect for someone and still carry yourself in an honorable fashion.
You say you can have no respect for somebody still respect them.
No, I mean because of the honors and things that I stand for, I will not get outside of what I stand for just because I don't respect you. Just because I don't respect the police, but doesn't mean I'm gonna cuss him out because I see him. You know what I'm saying?
You just still have some honor for him.
I have honor because I'm an honorable man, so I will show honor. But I don't respect you. You know, about 5-6 niggas right now I don't respect, but I'm not gonna disrespect them.
That's why I felt like it was like.
Oh no.
Treating somebody how you would.
Oh no, respect is, that's an honorable guy right there. Once you show yourself not to be a man, I don't respect you. You know what I'm saying? I can have respect for a woman. Find out she's a whore, I no longer respect you. That don't mean I'm gonna treat you like a whore.
Can you regain that respect if they conduct themselves?
I can never regain respect for anyone I lost it for.
That's his personal thing.
Yeah.
That's why I said I.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was making sure that was him. That's not.
Okay,
That's not.
like
You can't be done. It can be done.
I've never seen it. She the first person in my entire life
Be done.
ever said it. Cause boy, once I lose respect for you, cause I sit back and look at it. Once you show me you ain't a man, shoot, I can't see you gaining that. Well, if you ain't became a man after 20, 30 years, shoot, I don't see that happening on the back end.
all things are possible.
You know what I'm saying? I don't see that happening. Boy, you either a man or you ain't. That's how I see it. You don't get no 30 years old, all of a sudden I'm going to be a man. No, you was a buster when you were born. You were probably born from buster parents, and it just passed down on to you. Some generations it skips. You laughing.
Sometimes it be a life experience though, bro.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, nigga just a sucker.
That one thing might happen and they might.
Ain't nothing happen to you make you act less than a man. Ain't nothing happen to you. That's just you.
No, I'm saying to get right. I'm saying to become a man. You feel me? You might
Yeah, see, when I'm talking about now, when I'm talking about becoming a man, I'm not talking about, because I know some niggas who do man things, take care of their kids, pay the bills, but they not men though. You know what I'm saying? They don't carry themselves like a man. They don't conduct themselves like a man. They don't do honorable things that men do. So I don't care nothing about you paying no bill. Paying no bill don't make you no man. Punks pay bills.
Since you say that, in your definition, what is a man outside of paying bills?
A man is a man who carries himself with honor and respect and decorum with all people whom he deals with in all situations. A man also knows how to sit back and stay out of other people's business. He always will uplift his brother and put his brother on. He won't snake him. He'll never disrespect him. You know what I'm saying? It's how he moves and conducts himself, because a man conducts himself with honor in all his dealings and whoever he deals with. You know what I'm saying? Because I know men who take care of their kids and pay bills, but they do not deal with other men with honor. They're not honorable men. They're not men of respect. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. Respect is paramount for a man. Just give me my respect. That's why we were climbing by that the other day. If you a man, you can go anywhere in the world and have no problems, because you carry and conduct yourself like a man, and another man will respect you no matter where you go. You know what I'm saying? If you a man, you could go in any hood in America and have no problems, because you a man. You conduct yourself like one, and they're going to recognize that's a man right there. Men can peep weakness in another man and will swallow him whole. You know what I'm saying? Men can peep if you a snake, if you shady. See, a man will never backdoor his homeboy's old lady. He won't even backdoor his homeboy's homeboy old lady, because he a man. That's dishonorable. You know what I'm talking about?
You got the real man handbook memorized.
You know what I'm saying? That's dishonorable though. It's just things you don't do. You know what a man will do? A real man, he an honorable man. That man will chastise your children if he your homeboy. Don't mean he got to beat him or nothing. He gonna straighten him though. You know what I'm talking about? Real man, if that's your homeboy and you get jammed up, that man ain't just gonna write you a letter. That man gonna put money on your books and come see you. You know what I'm talking about? You don't do all that. A man is a friend. So if I'm your friend, I'm loyal to you. No one can never say nothing to me about you that would make me change my view of you. And I say I'm a man and you my friend. I can let a nigga influence my viewpoint of you, and I'm supposed to be your nigga. You ain't no man. A man, if he got a problem with another man, he gonna go holler at that man. He gonna go talk to that man. If he can't go talk to that man, he's not a man. You know what I'm saying? He's not a man. Then of course we know in technical sense, you don't take care of your family, of course you ain't no man. That's a given. We already know that. You know what I'm talking about? But it's just code of conduct. We were raised that, man. Code of etiquette, man. Just certain things you supposed to do. Just like this here. If a nigga finna rob Johnny, and I know a nigga finna rob Johnny, guess what I'm finna do? You might want to watch them niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I done did my part. It's on you what you choose to do. You know what I'm talking about? Cause I'm a man. I'm keeping it 100 with you. I ain't gonna sit there and know these niggas finna blow your head off and don't say nothing unless I don't fool with you. You know what I'm saying? You know what a man gonna do? A man gonna promote your hustle by whatever means he can promote your hustle. And he don't want nothing from you because you his nigga. I'm a man. I'm gonna hold you down. You know what I'm saying? That's the concept. So, man, niggas ain't on that. That's why you got all these whole niggas running out here in these streets, man. Like, who raised these niggas? No one, clearly. But come on here to Matthew 13, though. I just had to sit, because, like I say, man, if most men mention the things that are paramount to them. But if you go to most men, they want their woman to respect them. You know what I'm saying? I know for me, that's the first thing I want. I want my woman to respect me. I don't need no affection. I don't need no support. Because if you support me, you're going to respect me. And if you respect me, you're going to show me affection. Just give me my respect, though. Because I'm going to give you yours. You know what I'm saying? I will hope you be loyal. Because if you disloyal, you definitely ain't got no respect in you because you don't even respect yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's why people got problems anyway. They don't love and respect themselves. You love and respect yourself, you demand somebody to love and respect you. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to, that's why a real man or woman can't deal with somebody who is not a real man or woman, because they won't have that level of respect for them that they should have, because the respect that they have for themselves. That's what y'all want is respect. How many times did Bookie tell you to fear him? Too many to number. Because he want respect. You know what I'm saying? Respect me. Y'all done used to run here. Some of y'all used to run around here telling niggas respect my mind and all that there. Because that's what everybody want, especially men. It's a lot of people y'all know who done got beat up and got killed because of respect. Dudes die for respect out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? It dudes in the chain gang doing numbers behind respect. See, respect ain't that big for a woman and woman on woman interaction. Man, that's paramount. It's paramount. Don't disrespect me as no man. Because now you just told me I was a whole hoe out here and you could do me any kind of way. And, it's not the same as with a man. A girl ain't finna go shoot another girl in the face behind respect.
You can tell how y'all talk to each other, respect and paramount.
I'll put it to you this way, because I was locked up and I like this here, right? I heard dudes when I was locked up calling each other female dogs, hoes, and all that. And I'm like, yo, my nigga, like, why is you talking to each other like that? That ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? Calling you the coochie nigga, then coochie. I'm like, boy, where I come from, them fighting words. Like, you don't talk to another man like that. And they were playing around, though. But I'm letting you know, boy, you can't play with everybody like that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know who raised you niggas, but that's not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? But I done seen too many women interact. I have never, only women I know of that will bust another woman head about respect is they thugged out. They thugged out. That's just not a natural inclination like, who you think you, a woman gonna go, oh, she disrespected me cause she talking to my man or this, that, there, and the third. Niggas knock niggas out behind glares they believe are disrespectful. You understand what I'm telling you? It's people who've been shot behind a look. Oh, that nigga looking at me crazy cause that nigga sizing me like I'm a hoe. Just that quick.
Girls bought my stuff like that.
Just that quick. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that hoe look at me funny. I'm gonna check with her. I see.
And them ratchet hoes. That's not the general consensus of most women. You got niggas who ain't even thugged out like that, but they feel like they manhood being sized. So I have to defend my man. A woman doesn't have that innate need that she feels she has to defend her womanhood. You know what I'm saying? That's why niggas don't play around with the gay stuff and the gay jokes and all that type of stuff, because you sizing my manhood. You know what I'm saying? A woman could say something lesbian along them lines to another woman. She may not get that irate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what Scarface told you. He ain't got but two things.
Word in my.
And your testicles, your genitalia, your balls, if you will. You know what I'm talking about? That's all you got. And once you ain't got them no more, and that's another thing that make a man keep his word. What a man say he gonna do, that's what he gonna do. There's a lot of niggas ain't men out here. They might well get on all fours and take it from the bike. That's how they live, and they might as well. While you can say that, you know why I use that visual? Because then you know niggas who don't act like men, they might as well, because they acting like a woman, they might as well just go all the way out with it. They might as well go all the way out. If you gonna act like a hoe, then be a hoe. You know what I'm saying? But the book tell you how many times. What did David tell Solomon? What he told him to do? Right before he died, David told Solomon to do something. What was that he told him to do? No, he told him to show himself as a what? As a man. What did Paul write in his epistle letter? He's saying, in malice be children, but in understanding be what? Men. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a man. A man rule. How you gonna say you a man and you can't even rule your own household? Meaning you can't even direct your household in righteousness. You ain't no man. That's another thing too. You ain't no man if your old lady run you. You definitely not no man. You might want to go ahead and get you some Always with Wings or Tampax and make sure you sit on the toilet and you urinate with the wings because you need to fly away. Who? Well, the worst thing in the world is to see a man get ran by a woman. That junk saddening. That junk sad. That junk bring a tear to a nigga. A wolf tear like my homeboy daddy say. Snatch one right there. Huh? You chose to get a vasectomy. Ain't nobody make you get on that table and get drugged up for them to snip your penis. You chose to do that. Nigga getting ran by his old lady. So I know men who went and got it on their own. Ain't no woman told them to do it.
So you tired of kids? I'm just trying to get off.
I'm just trying to get off. Come on to Matthew 13, man. Well, I'm sorry, number 24. I'm just being honest with you though. Cause you know why I mentioned that here? That's why so many are women with the men they with, cause they don't even know what it is to be a man. So they feel like as long as a nigga do this, that, then the third, or a woman go by what their definition of a man is. That's the most asinine thing I ever seen is a woman tell a man what it is to be a man. How would you know? Numbers 24 and 6. You must be a bulldagger, a stud, a dyke, if you will. Tell me what a man is. How is that possible? Huh? What's that? Yeah, but you go on that that definition is based off the ideals that man taught you, whether verbally or by actions. I'm talking about women who ain't had no daddy and they came up with this stuff on their own. Yeah, I mean, some women, their definition of what a man is comes from whatever male figure they had in their life based on what he taught them by deeds or by words. That's different.
Some of the time it be what they desire.
Absolutely. That's why I say it's different. Because if you seen your daddy do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you consider your daddy to be a real man, then you're not basing that off your own definition. You're basing that off of a man. You know what I'm saying? This man taught me and showed me what a real man is. Not what these women say, oh, this is what a real man is. Well, how would you know? You ain't had no daddy. You live with your grandma. That's why you got all these women talking about, I'm your mama and your daddy. So you a hermaphrodite? My mama ain't never said that my entire life. She ain't no man. How can she teach me how to be a man? She doesn't have the experience. You know what I'm saying? A man can assist in rearing a young girl, but he can't teach that young girl how to be a woman. How would he know? He doesn't have the experience. That's impossible. That would be his wife's job. Go ahead, man. 6.
As the valleys are they spread forth, as gardens by the riverside, as the trees of lying aloes, which who have planted, and as cedar trees beside the waters.
Yeah.
He shall pour the water out in his buckets, and his seed shall be in many waters.
Yep.
And his king shall be higher than Agag,
Yep.
and his kingdom shall be exalted.
Yep.
Elohim brought him forth out of Egypt.
Brought him where?
Brought him forth out of Egypt.
What is Egypt? Go ahead.
He had, as it were, the strength of a unicorn.
The strength of a what?
A unicorn.
What is a unicorn?
Horse.
No, it's not a horse. It's an ox or a rhino, if you will.
Wild bull.
So he said he got the strength of a wild bull. What did we just read about with a wild bull? Give me Isaiah 51 and 20. The bulls in the net. Isaiah 51 and 20. Hold Numbers 24.
It said, thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all streets as a wild bull. In the net they are full of the fury of Elohim.
Pause.
The rebuke.
So remember when it said they fainted, it had the olive there. You remember that? So they had the strength of Elohim where they lied at the head, or he lied at the father, if you will. And as they were a wild bull that was in the net, it said the strength. Go back to Numbers chapter 24. It said the strength of this man was as a what? A unicorn or a wild bull. What is the... Give me First Timothy chapter 5, about verse 16. That's how I gotta crank it up. Stop fighting. First Timothy 5 and 16.
Any man or woman that believeth have widows, let them relieve them, and let not the church be charged, that it may relieve them that are widows indeed.
Yeah.
Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor.
Yes, sir.
Especially they who labor in the word and doctrine.
Yes, sir.
For the scripture said,
What
thou
does it
shalt
say?
not muzzle the ox that treadeth out the corn.
What type of animal is an ox? It's a cow. It's a bull. For lack of a better term, a male cow. But he said a wild bull. Now what's the difference between this ox that's treading out the corn and this wild bull?
One tame.
One tamed and one's not. What do you tame cattle with? A yoke. A yoke. So that's what we're looking for. A yoke. So go back to Numbers chapter 24. So if he got the strength of a wild bull, what would that strength of that wild bull, what would that correlate for us spiritually then? Go back and read that verse in Numbers 24. You're in verse 8, correct?
Yep.
Read it again from the top for me, sir.
Elohim brought him forth out of Egypt. He had it as it were strength of a unicorn. He shall eat up the nations, his enemies, and shall break their bones and pierce them through with his arrows.
There we go. So now, so he has the wild bull before getting up or after getting up? After. And he said he gonna do what to the nations?
Then he gonna break their bones and pierce them through with arrows.
What that sound like to y'all? That sounds like a little bit of judgment, doesn't it? Sounds like a lot of bit of judgment. Give me verse 9 though.
It said he couched. He lay down as a lion, and as a great lion who shall stir him up. Baruch is he that blessed thee, and cursed is he that
Now
curseth
pause.
thee.
I'm going to do this different, right? I want y'all to remember this here, right? Because I'm going to start with this, but we're not going to satisfy what this verse is talking about until we're complete. You understand? So now let's go to Numbers chapter 13. I just wanted to keep that in your brain about this man being a wild bull, and he said he going to bless everyone who bless him, he going to curse everyone who curse him, and he going to destroy these people and break their bones and hit them with arrows. I just did a little backwards. I'm doing that for a reason. But now we're going to deal with something that probably a lot of y'all probably read, and we're going to try to touch as many of them as we possibly can. Oh, my bad. One more thing. Proverbs 29 and 2. Let me get that, because we're going to do that at the end too. Proverbs 29 and 2.
It say, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but the wicked bear rule. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
Y'all know what word? And of course, I know y'all probably wouldn't know what word because it wouldn't be what you thought it was. But when it says are in authority, you know what word is there? It's a word that most Hebrews use quite a lot in a phrase. So I ain't heard some of y'all say it in a while. But when you would say Todah, what would be the words you would say after that? That's the word for in authority. Do you remember what Rabah means, Stanley? So you just will use
Thank you very much. No.
much is correct. Exceeding, a large amount. You can write that up there for him, sir. There's 3 characters for Rabah. Does anybody have any idea what those 3 characters would be?
Rabah. The rad.
Extra country.
Rad. Got the rad.
Oh, you didn't spell it with an H.
You don't got no head, I don't think.
Yeah, it got an H in it.
It do?
Yes, sir. I just want you to get, he said when the righteous are in authority, the people do what? They rejoice, didn't they? I want y'all to remember that too. He said, but when the wicked bear rule, the people what? Let me ask y'all a question. You mourning right now, ain't it?
Yes.
It's a family right down in Sacramento, California mourning real good because of wicked rule. What about them people over there in Syria? They ain't just in America. Because there's wicked stuff going on all across the globe. So when we turn around, we got the what? The Rosh, the Bot, and the Hay, correct? So if we going to sit back at that Rosh, the week's going to sit back, and I think we just going to go ahead, and we going to say the first or the head with that Bot. we going to take that family, and we got that Hay. we going to reveal the head's family. That's what we're going to do.
For much.
Yeah, for much. Keep that in mind. Matthew chapter 13. Let's begin then. I want you to go to Matthew chapter 13. Do I want to use that? I'm going to start at verse 33. Matthew 13 and 33.
Sorry, go sit down. Go sit down. Sorry. Go sit down.
Matthew 13, 33.
Another parable spake he unto them, the kingdom of shamayim is like unto
Pause.
heaven.
How many times have y'all read that particular phrase usage, what he just used? The kingdom of heaven is like unto. That's what we finna look at. Now he said it's like under what, sir?
Like unto leaven.
Under what?
Unto leaven.
What is leaven?
Yeast.
Yeast. Continue.
Which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal till the whole was leavened.
Pause. When we look at measures in Greek, it's something that's dry. 3 measures of meal till the whole was leavened. What does yeast cause bread to do? Rise. Then it said till the whole was leavened. What do y'all think that means when it said that this woman took this leaven and put it in 3 measures of meal, 3 measures of dry meal until the whole was leavened? What do y'all think that could mean? We may not come out the New Testament for a lot of stuff. Today I just feel like doing that. Now, of course, the word for Greek and leaven is to mix leaven with dough so it can make it ferment. Do y'all know what it is to ferment something? What is the fermentation process?
Is it it's the process of turning it into its natural state into its aged state?
In the aged state, just like she mentioned, because she just said that. And what do you usually need to ferment something? What do you need? You also need yeast, but it's another component that you need.
I know what it is. It doesn't time.
And I'm just stating this from watching niggas ferment alcohol in the county jail.
Potatoes. Starch.
You need a container too. When they ferment wine, what's all the stuff they use to ferment that wine? Huh? The skin. What else they got? No, they need a little heat though.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of an item. I'm sorry.
Need a little heat. Just a little heat.
You gotta heat it up.
You gotta heat it up just a little bit. You gotta heat it up, man.
Yeah, you right.
So when we look at 3 measures of dry meal to make it leaven, scripturally, what does this mean? I'm talking about the measures of meal. The fire part was easy once I mentioned that. Am I lying though?
That's all I got. This boy.
Look, I'm telling you now. It said it hid it in 3 measures of meal. Why would he use the number 3?
3 days she was dead.
Okay, so how does that relate with dry measures of meal then? Woo! And he biting people. That boy, that aggressive. I told you what I told you earlier. Starts with whining, then they start whining, they get violent. They get violent. So it's gonna be hard for him. You struck him. It pried her. It pried her. Well, I have to go outside the New Testament for this. So Zechariah chapter 9 and 11. If he say, we're gonna say like this here, right? 3 measures of meal. Then we're gonna go to the book of Jonah.
I get the 3 days. I'm stuck on the meal.
If the meal is dry, what does it lack?
Water.
Zechariah 9 and 11.
It said, as for thee also by the blood of the covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit where there is no water.
Where there was no what?
Water.
No what?
No water.
Now come on back over here. Now take me back. We read it last night. Take me over there to John 19. Take me to John 19 and 37. Make it 19 and 40.
It says, then took they the body of Yahushua and wound it in linen clothes with the spices, as in the manner of the Yahudim is to bury.
Mm-hmm.
Now in the place where he was crucified there was a garden, and in the garden was a new sepulchre, wherein was never a man yet.
Was there any water in that pit? At that point, did any man ever rose from the dead? See, a lot of brothers trying to go hard because yesterday was quote unquote what? Excuse me. Good Friday. You know what I'm talking about? And Cracker say 2 days later he got up. The only thing they got right is that he got up on the first day of the week. That's the only thing they got correct. That's the only thing. You got Bruiser fight you today. He didn't get up on the first day of the week. Well, shoot. When else would he got up, cuz? He ain't working on no Sabbath. Clearly you don't know the law. You know what I'm talking about? Because if you know the law, if his father rested on the 7th day, what would he be doing? Shoot, he saw rest was good. That's what the law says. He says, shoot, I'm finna take me a nap. Don't wake me up for 3 days neither. Some of y'all know how I feel to take a good rest. Don't nobody come wake you up.
Oh, I can't stand that.
You said that like you felt that in your soul. Somebody must have just did you that yesterday. Hezekiah did you like that this morning.
You like screaming all in front of that room, always. Like, I gotta get up.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
I had a joke for that, but I'm gonna leave it where it's at. You gonna keep on? I'm gonna bring it up. You almost ran yourself right into it. Just know how to just be quiet and let it slide. I got about 7 of them now, but I'm gonna let it live this time. But all jokes aside, though, you know what I'm saying? That's what the law says, though. He saw, it says that in Genesis 49, he saw rest was good. He said he rested on the Shabbat and he was refreshed. He was regenerated. That's what it says. And you got Bruce talking about the angel came down on the Sabbath day and rolled the stone away. Why would he get up on the Sabbath if he rested? See, the point of the matter is what people say, Yahushua, Jesus is our Sabbath. Then why you sinning then?
Still ain't took a rest.
You still ain't took a rest.
You ain't tired?
You ain't took no rest. He said there remains a rest to the people of Elohim. He said you should cease from your own works like Elohim did from here. So don't use that Jesus my Sabbath excuse. Because if he was your Sabbath, you'd stop sinning then. You would have rested. You would have rested. We done dealt with that before. Y'all don't remember it. We dealt with it. Are you really keeping the Sabbath? And when we got finished, everybody in the room said, I surely haven't been keeping it. Because you think keeping the Sabbath just not working on Saturday. Oh no. Oh no. If you ain't ceased from your own labors, you ain't keeping no Sabbath, you still breaking the law. If you were keeping the Sabbath, you would cease from doing what you want to do every day. I had a dude come in, I'm tired of working for these people. I don't know what you're talking about. That man say 6 days you'll labor, the 7th day you rest. So get your stinking black behind up and go to work. Nigga, I don't want to hear that crap. You know what I'm saying? The law say work from the sweat of your brow. These niggas want to get up and get a wife and hunch. Nobody want to go to work. How that happen?
gotta go preach, brother.
You know what I'm talking about? This nigga don't even preach. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you want to have a family, but you don't want to go to work.
I'm on the hunch point.
You want more shoes. Shoot, back page will work out for you if you want a hunch. Go on a trick then. Get your basin and do what you do. Don't get you no wife and have be responsible for this woman, then you want her to pay all the bills. What type of man is you?
Can't pay for booty if you ain't got no job.
Clearly they want to see this nigga want this woman to pay all the bills, watch the doodle stain draws and all this here. No, man. Ain't work. I seen a brother post that other day. He said, let me show y'all what we do for a living. Because y'all know what I know. It's a lot of brew tell you ain't got no business working for this white man. I don't work for nobody.
You got a paycheck, you lack faith.
And they say, you got a paycheck, you lack faith. Same nigga got lice in his beard. Black people can't even get lice.
Got a paycheck, you lack faith, brother. You depending on the white man's money.
Nigga sound stupid. Come on, man. Give me the book of Jonah. Give me the last, second to last verse in chapter 1.
Living up the system.
Nigga better shoot. That nigga need to find. That nigga need a new son. That nigga just need to go to a park and use them people facilities. That's what he need to do. I don't care nothing about him staying outside. Do you, bro? Jonah chapter 1, second to last verse.
It says, and the man feared Yahuwah exceedingly and offered a sacrifice unto Yahuwah and made vows. Now Yahuwah had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights.
How many days was he in there?
3 days and 3 nights.
He said in 3 dry measures of meal. Now it stated that this man was saying, I'm going to bring you out of the pit where there was no water. When Joseph got thrown in the pit, what did it describe that pit as? City ain't had no water in it. Didn't have no water in it. Now you got this woman, he said, I liken the kingdom of shamayim to a woman that had what? 3 measures of meal that she took that is like unto leaven that she hid in 3 measures of meal till the whole was leavened, or the whole rised and became of age, or became full. Give me 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 1. So the first thing that we look at this parable is talking about being hid in Mashiach. When you hid in Mashiach, you become a full age, which takes us to John chapter 3, which is to enter the kingdom of Shamayim, you must be what? You got to be born again. We already read the verse in Romans chapter 6 where he said if you crucify yourself with him, then you're dead. And if you're dead with him, then you'll live forever, because death no longer has them. You can't tell me you dead in Mashiach and still sinning. That means sin got dominion over you and not Yahuwah. How that's going to work? How that's going to work? That's a lie from hell. See, there's niggas get mad with an individual such as myself because I don't believe you. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't care how many scripts you know. I don't care how much knowledge you got. You just told me you know all this and you can still be a dishonorable man. Because see, that's another thing. If you sin, you're not a man because you're dishonorable. The book says sin is a reproach to any people. Sin is a dishonor. Why are you dishonorable? Because you lack the respect, admiration, and esteem for the man who created you. You know what I'm saying? That means you could go to this man in prayer and lie and say, I'm a righteous man. He's like, nigga, I watch you every day. They may not know, nigga, I see you. Like, do we even sit back and think about that? He sees you. He may not see you. She may not see you. He sees you. And then you go out in the world and act like you just that, there, and the third. Come on, man. Nigga living a whole lie. How your whole life a lie? You know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense. But guess what? I done told y'all this before, right? A nigga be in the streets, right? Well, I know you like to say. I know he was one of your favorite MCs. But Lil Boosie had a song back in the day. You remember what that song was? You ain't about what you what? Nigga get in the word. Like you doing all that. Nigga get in the word and they ain't about what they talking about. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm just using it as an example, right? A nigga will hold you to, if you ain't about what you talking about in the street, nigga, you get no respect, correct? You can be in the word and not be about what you talking about. People show you honor and respect. How? How is that possible? You know what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me it's cool to be real in wickedness, but it's cool to be fake in righteousness? That never made sense to me. See, that's another reason why I don't respect a lot of niggas who claim the word, because that's not, you not about this for real. So I do not respect you. You know what I'm saying? Because what you claim, just say, hey, I'm working towards it, then to claim it. You know what I'm saying? Just say I'm working towards it. First, because once you put it out there that this is what I'm about, then that's what I expect you to be about 24/7, 365. I expect you to be about that at every minute and every moment of the day. Because when you was in these streets, you couldn't talk. I put it this way, how Jay put it in the rap one day. He said you couldn't talk about it if you ain't lived it. You couldn't talk about them streets, boy, if you ain't living. See, now it don't make no difference. See, nigga talk about the streets, they ain't never been in them. Nobody cares. It sounds good. You know what I'm saying? But you was in them streets, you couldn't talk about selling dope. You wasn't selling no dope. See, I could talk about selling dope. I couldn't talk about killing a nigga because I ain't never shot at nobody in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't be walking around here talking about I was a killer. Who did you kill? You know what I'm saying? Nigga get in the word and talk about righteousness and you ain't righteous. You can't. Don't the book tell you not to talk about it if you don't live it? Don't talk about it if you don't live it. See, that's where it get a little different then. There's a lot of people be quiet out here at that point. What's nigga first excuse? Keep the commandments to the best of your abilities. This walk is hard. We're all struggling. Man, I don't want to hear none of that junk. Yahushua ain't never said none of that crap. What you talking about? Yahuwah ain't never said none of that crap. What you talking about? Yeah, all sinned and fell short of the esteem of Elohim. But guess what? One man didn't. You know what I'm saying? So because of one man, many were made sinners. Because of one man, many were made righteous. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That man say, if you are born of him, then you are righteous, even as he is righteous. He say, let no man deceive you. I don't want to hear that. You're not finna. So you mean to tell me I can be in a righteous man but not be righteous? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? Like, do we even qualify these statements before they come out of our mouth? Before we was in the word, did we even sit back and really listen to a nigga when a nigga said that? Are you serious right now, cuz? Because if we was to take the word out to play and I was just natural like, you tell a nigga get up out your face or you'll laugh at him. Did you hear this stupid nigga? But the word come into play, we act stupid like we don't know what's going on. It's not hard to obey. You just have to want to. It's not hard to start a business. You just have to want to. It's not hard to be a good husband or wife. You just have to want to. It's not hard to be a good parent. You just have to want to. At the end of the day, everything comes down to one thing, and that's desire. If you desire to be great at something, then you will be. If you don't desire to be good at something, then you won't. Do you know what I'm saying? It's simple as that. Now, some things, of course, we know you can desire to be good at all you want, and you might be mediocre. Some of us might desire to be astrophysicists. It may never happen. But at least you tried, though.
How you feel about like the law of attraction theory?
Oh, I read that junk in prison, man. You know what you want to do with it? Take them books outside, get you a nice campfire, and throw them in there.
No, I was just thinking when you said desire, like if a person desires they want to be great and it happens, like you just
But the desire from wanting to be great coming from, I desire to be great. What is it required of me to be great? And then I'm willing to put in the work and make the sacrifices to bring that to pass.
nothing to
You know what I'm saying? It's because, man, them people say all that, man, and at the end of the day, when you decipher through it, that junk come down to putting in work. Because if you desire to be great in a particular field, then guess what you're going to do? You're going to get out there and network with the people in that particular field to get to know them. They didn't attract, your thoughts didn't attract you to them. You knew this is what you needed to do to further what you were trying to do, so you got your black behind up, and you went.
It is the same thing.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Like that what they like think and grow rich.
That's all it is. Get up and go do some work. Get up and work.
If you're gonna be rich, you have to think about being rich. And as you think about being rich, you're supposed to be thinking about what you gotta do to be that. And then you're gonna go do it.
Nigga been scamming Napoleon Hill, been scamming niggas since the 30s with that book. People swear by it.
Still buying that.
Like, don't get it wrong, mindset is important, but you can have the mindset and never get your black behind up off your couch.
Yeah. And you think about it all day long. For real.
Straight up. Come on, man. Start Think and Grow Rich.
You know about that.
I ain't read that book.
Oh, he also mentioned the law of attraction. You know, Oprah promoted the law of attraction on her show for years back.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
The law of attraction. They still sell that book. People eat it up. You know why people eat that stuff up? Because niggas is sorry and lazy. No, nobody want to go put no work in. So they want to go buy some books to tell them how to make themselves feel better about their lazy, slothful, low self-esteem having selves. And then they buy more books. And 10 years later, why am I not rich? Because you never went and did any work. You know what I'm saying? That's why self-improvement books is a $1 billion industry, because everybody want to improve themselves, but nobody wants to do the work necessary to improve themselves. You know what I'm saying? You have to do some work. Nigga just sit there and think, I will be rich. $100 million ain't finna fall out of the sky. And then we were talking about that earlier. You get $100 million, you're gonna have to do some funny things for that.
Things for that piece of time.
Yeah, because you dealing with, you have to sit back and realize, because you got to deal with a different type of people to touch that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? At least in this society, shoot, probably the whole world society, they all friends. Reason why I say that, and then we'll move on, because what did Satan say? He showed Yahushua all the riches of the world. He said, I give this to whom I want to give it to. Yahuwah ain't never told you nothing about I'm going to give you a whole bunch of money. But guess what they be in the churches every Sunday? Sow your seed and you'll reap your blessing. It's your season to harvest. Nigga working at McDonald's, how you going to harvest $1 million? How many burgers he got to flip to do that? No, you know you can work at McDonald's for 50 years and never make $1 million. I'm talking about manager, general manager, and all. So yeah, man, them people be getting over niggas. Niggas around here buying prayer water, prayer rugs, all this stuff, man.
Holy water.
All that, hoping to get rich. And it's 3 components you need to get rich. The first one is Yahuwah. The second one is Yahuwah, and the third one is Yahuwah. Because I don't care how hard or how much you sacrifice. If he don't want you to have it, you ain't never gonna have it.
He said the rich ain't given to the swift, nor the riches to those who just time and chance.
He give it to you if he want to give it to you. You know, some of you niggas right now couldn't do nothing with $1 million, man. You'll be straight in hell right now.
Straight in there.
Y'all must have got Proverbs 30. What did he say? He said, don't give me riches, lest I be full, and say, who is Yahuwah? Say, don't give me poverty, lest I steal, and take my Elohim name in vain. He said, but give me bread convenient for me. Some of you niggas can't deal with no money. You're going to forget that, man. I'm trying to tell you, you're going to be straight in hell.
I read that verse.
You're going to be straight in hell. You get some of you niggas $2 million like this here. You're going to have 3 prostitutes on speed dial. You can say, I moved up to bigger prostitute. Now I got call girls.
I got that. As long as my lights on and it's something for
You know what I'm talking about?
I'm good.
What? Nigga, why he told you what? Be content with what you got. Because some of you niggas already know, man, money is never the issue. It's what the money can allow you to do. You know what I'm saying? See, if you weren't able to do certain things, like if you played the word out to play, if you was in the world, some of you niggas might be done OD. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been in like this here. I can buy bigger drugs now. You got a lot of niggas, they ain't had no money. They weren't snorting cocaine or doing none of this type of stuff. You got more money, you in different circles. It exposes you to different things. If you had certain desires and lusts in your heart, now you have the ability to satiate them because now you running in a different group of people. You in a different environment. Butt naked parties. Donkey parties and stuff like that. Trying to tell you. What's the saying like this here, right? And then we'll move on. Like the lady was talking about, like they do with celebrities. And we know they do this here. Because Satan did it with Yahushua to a certain extent. They try to lavish you with goods. Take you on all these trips and show you how the life is. That's what he did with Satan did with Yahushua. Let me show you all these kingdoms. Let me show you all these riches. See, you can ball with me, baby. See, if you run with Yahuwah, you run with that guy over there. See, he gonna want you to serve these people. You ain't gonna have nowhere to lay your head. You know, there ain't no way for nobody like you to live. They gonna put you on the tree. They gonna spit on you. But you come over here with me, baby, you gonna ball. And niggas sell their soul every day just like that. See, I ain't talking about no blood contracts or nothing like that. Niggas sell their soul every day just like that. Niggas done lost their families behind stuff like that. You got a solid woman to the house. All she wants you to do is this right here. But she offering booty. It's new booty. You done lost your whole family. You lost your whole family. Because she made it look good. Because she do things your wife didn't do. Okay, maybe your wife ain't really focused on keeping her hair on point and this type of stuff like you want her. Because you done put all these churn in her. You know what I'm talking about? She over here, her hair's done, her nails is done. She looking good and she sashaying and playing, and you done lost your whole family. You done lost your whole family just that quick. Because he appealing to this. And then you stop thinking with this and this.
Opens up to that way.
That's how he get you. I'm telling you, man, this word is very simple. This stuff ain't hard. We already talked about knowing the devices of the adversary, right? It ain't hard. You know what he coming with? What else can he come with? He can't come with nothing but self-adulation, money, and sex. That's all he can come with. He ain't got much else to offer. What else can Satan offer you? I'm talking about the things that we know he offered. What else can he offer? He offering self-promotion, sex, and wealth. That's all he got to offer. And guess what? Those are three things that most people in the world weak in, that they need the most, because their self-esteem low, so they need somebody to prop them up. You know what I'm saying? Niggas poor, so they want to stop being poor. And then some people horn dogs. So if he know he can't get you with sex, then he try to get you with this.
What about power? Is that self?
That's self-adulation.
Yeah, that's fame. That's power. That's
Self-adulation, because you need that boost, you need that lift. That's why some people don't get put, that's why y'all don't put certain people in positions of authority. You can't handle it. You know what I'm saying? That stuff everything ain't for everybody, because everybody doesn't have the capacity to deal with it. You got some brews that could get $5 million and it won't affect them, because they don't care nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? They can go do this and go do that and handle this and handle that, and it ain't gonna be no issue. And some niggas, they gonna be in hell by tomorrow. Get some brew $5 million, he gonna be in hell by tomorrow. Meaning that he can already put himself in the grave by his behavior. Boom.
He gonna give him up his lesson. That's it.
And that's it. And it's over. And it's over. Everybody in here know the plague of their own heart. Some of y'all know, oh, I couldn't deal with no Lord, don't give me that. I don't want that. Because you know what you're gonna do. You already know what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? If you single and you weak for vagina, the last thing you need to do is be in a room full of beautiful women. You ain't gonna know what to do. With some money?
By yourself in a room with a woman at that point.
Shoot, some niggas can handle it. Some niggas can't. Yeah, you're right. Some niggas, don't let them like them. Next thing you know, she go in the bathroom, he come back, he butt naked. What you trying to do? She like, what in the? What my keys? Don't let her not be in the word. She ain't gonna be thinking about none of that. It's over with. Let her be lukewarm. Well, shoot. We getting married anyway. Might as well. I appreciate the offer. I was wondering when you were gonna offer. Shoot, I thought I was gonna have to take it. Come on back to Numbers 30. I mean, all jokes aside, though, don't get no realer than that, though. Play with it. Play with it. Play with it. Okay, you like to say something. Don't desire power and see what y'all do. Don't you know y'all will tempt you with the things you lusting after just to see if you love him or not? Just to see. Some of you niggas wouldn't turn nothing down for you. You'd be like, shh. Ain't nobody gonna know. How niggas feel? Ain't nobody gonna know. You know the word part is you know, and you can go to sleep at night. That's the word part.
That's tough.
You know, and you can go to sleep at night. Numbers 30. I mean Matthew 13, man. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. Yeah, I need verse 44 though.
All the way down, jump to it.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right to 44.
Again, the kingdom of shamayim is likened to a treasure hid in the field.
It's like a what?
A treasure hid in the field.
Mm-hmm.
The which when the man hath found, he hideth.
He do what?
He hideth.
And for what?
And for joy whereof goeth and selleth all that he hath and buyeth that field.
Paul, we just read something like that already. What was that we read?
Give me your home. No.
Well, Acan, you know the word for covet there is kamad. You can spell it for him. C-H-A-M-A-D. 3 characters. You know what that word means? It means desirable, pleasurable. It's not the evil connotation.
Yeah,
it's not the evil connotation of lust. What did he say he saw in that in when they were walking that he went and buried?
Garments, gold and silver.
He saw what?
Nice thing.
Gold and silver, right? Now give me Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 20. Read to me about that gold and silver. Just read it to me. I don't know what it say. I'm not sure.
18.
8 and 20. Proverbs 8 and 20. Because ain't that funny? Because it said he found a good old treasure in the field. He went and hid it for joy. So when Achan seen that treasure, it joyed his heart to the point he said, I need to hide it. And guess what? He sold everything he had to get that field too, because he lost his whole family and his life. But he said it was worth it though. You know what I take it back to? He that ain't willing to, he that forsake father, mother, they ain't worthy of me. You got to be willing to forsake and sell everything you have if that kingdom bring you that much joy. You got stupid niggas to this day. He said you got to hate your mama. Sit your stupid behind down. Can't be that dumb. You know what I'm saying? And you read the law and y'all told you the same thing, you dumb bastard you. Ain't nobody on this planet you should love more than y'all. Ain't nobody on this planet gave you life. Yeah, your mama pushed you out the womb. Yeah, your daddy provided you the sperm, but y'all gave you the breath. So it don't matter. Because they ain't give you the breath. Your mama and daddy ain't give you that breath. Because guess what? Your mom and daddy can't take that breath away. That book say y'all can take his breath away. And that what the book say, the Almighty had made me and the Almighty had given me life. By the breath, your mom and daddy didn't give you no life.
I brought you in this where I take you out. Gave you that breath, I take it from you.
All they did is had a little pleasure in the sight. And the egg and the embryo and some sperm met together. But Yahuwah had to put the breath in the lungs though. Because without him ain't no baby. See, nobody don't like to think about that part. Without him ain't no baby. Continue on, sir.
The proverb.
Proverbs 8:20.
I led in the way of righteousness in the midst of the path of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance.
They inherit what?
Substance.
They inherit what?
Substance.
What else?
And I will fill their treasures.
Fill they what?
Their treasures.
And what are you gonna fill it with?
And you will possess me in the beginning of the way before the works of old.
Mm-hmm.
I was set up from everlasting.
Hold on, back up about verse 15.
15?
Yeah, back
It
up.
say, by me kings reign and prince.
Now who is this talking? This is wisdom. Go ahead.
And princes decree justice. By me princes rule and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me.
Those that what?
Seek me early shall find me.
Go ahead.
Riches and honor with me, yea, durable riches and righteousness.
Durable means what?
Antique, value.
Indeed, in Hebrew, and durable in English means what? It lasts.
Heavy duty.
Remember we just talked about that last night. Patience talking about what? Enduring. Steadfast. You know what I'm saying? See, if you don't have any, so he telling you if his riches are durable, that means they last. See, you could get some little Federal Reserve notes and they can be gone. See, the riches that Yahuwah have, can't nobody take that from you. See, nigga, them white people could come wipe out your whole bank account today. And who you gonna complain to? Who you gonna complain to? They wiped out my bank account. Can you prove it? You can't prove it. Look at my bank statement. You just a lowly person who know. You know what tripped me out, right? What was that thing they had last week with all them white churn? With all talking about them guns? What would they call it? Anybody know?
Justice.
Yeah, what they call that march?
Take guns out of school.
They called it something.
They did call it. I just know.
Yeah, I do too.
I seen that white boy stand up and say we need to take a stand against tyranny. Do any of y'all know what tyranny is?
That's tyrant reign.
Tyranny is when the government rule, a dictatorship, if you will, the trampling on of rights. Cracker, this ain't no tyranny. What they do in the hood is tyranny. Cause I ain't see nobody put no crack in no white neighborhoods nowhere. I ain't seen nobody knock off no black leaders, white leaders, whether you agree with them or not, like they did ours. Ain't nobody do that. Do you know them crack? I just seen it, right? I had shared that junk with Larry King claiming that they came up with the Second Amendment to quell slave rebellions. And I just read another story today that kind of backed up his claim, which was dealing with that gun laws, gun control is about fighting for white supremacy, not to regulate it. Because we all know the greatest thing that white people fear is the day that niggas get fed up and fight back. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? They came up with felons couldn't have guns for you. After slavery was abolished, they didn't even allow black men to own a gun. For a good long time, they couldn't own no gun. You know what I'm saying? But this nigga talking about tyranny because a white boy who one of them white girls admitted they ostracized and picked on since middle school came in here and shot you niggas. He supposed to shot you. Y'all been messing with him. Them white kids beat each other, they beat their friends up, or they classmates up and do all this stuff to them, and then they shot when the cracker come back through and kill everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? See, black people, if you beat on him and pick on him, he ain't coming to shoot up the whole school, he coming to shoot you. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't finna shoot all these 10 other people. They wasn't picking on me. I'm gonna kill that nigga right there though. I'm I'm for real though. White people, only white people do that. Timmy was picking on me. I'm gonna shoot the whole 7th grade gym class. What?
You was picking on you probably wasn't even there.
Ain't got nothing to do with it. Cause first day at a new school. Mommy, why did we move? That's what happens.
What?
With that Kamar, right? What we got, right? We got the cot, and what else we got?
Look out.
The amendment, what else? And the dollar. So we'll sit back and we're gonna look at it's the separation to the doorway of life. Or separate yourself to the door of life. Because we're looking at the water is life. Because we know your body is what? 90% water. You know what I'm saying? Even how our physiological makeup is made up is to show you forsaking the fountain of living water. That's why I say you was in the pit where there was no water. Without water, you can't live. So without Yahuwah, you can't live. You need his spirit to live. That's why he say if the Ruach, again taking us back to Romans 8 and 11, if the Ruach of him that raised Yahushua from the dead be in you, then he'll resurrect you with him. Which goes back to what we were talking about Wednesday about ascending into his Kadesh hill. You got to have the mind of the Son to actually enter into his hill. You're not getting into New Jerusalem if you don't have the mind of the Son. It's not going to happen. And what mind, when we think of the mind of the Son, what type of mind did he have? He had faith, he had obedience, he had trust, he had Kadeshness. This is the mind he had sacrifice, he had suffering in the flesh, he had humility, and he was a servant. This is the mind he had. So he had no problem humbling himself under his Father's will and taking his direction. Would take it to the shepherd staff in Malkuth, which you can place that up there now. You know what I'm saying? We already know the character. Just go ahead and drop it so they can see it with their own 2 eyes. You know, we had the Mem, and we had the Lamad, and we had the Kaf, and we had the U, and we had the Tet. And remember what we talked about. That's the power of the shepherd staff, which secures you into the house.
Mem, Lamed.
This is Malkuth. Mem, Lamad, Kaf, U, and Tet. Because if you want to, that's why we took the direction about thy Elohim reign. Because if he's reigning in you, then guess what you're going to add? Faith, patience, godliness, brotherly kindness. These are things you're going to add to your faith because this is the direction that he's taking you or he's teaching you into going. See, y'all say, I teach you in the way that you should go in things that will get you gain. The book told you in Romans chapter 6, he say, what pleasure do you have in those things that you are now ashamed? See, I'm going to tell you especially, Hebrews do it too, and Christians do it probably maybe just a tad bit less than most brews do. They don't want people for being ashamed for being a sinner. See, they want you to come in there and, it's okay, we all sin. Oh, and that's cool. But if a nigga's not ashamed of his behavior, he will repeat it. He will repeat it. Because you won't have that conviction on your own heart that you that disgusted with how you behaved yourself. When you sit back and you think on it and you look at what you done and now you see the mercy of Allah, you should be ashamed. Don't the book tell you be ashamed? Yahuwah himself say be ashamed for everything you done, O house of Yasharal. He said, I didn't redeem you for you. He said, oh, let that be known. He said, I did this for my great name and mercy's sake. That's why I did it. You know what I'm saying? Because then if you have that mind frame, then you will realize and understand he didn't have to deliver me. So guess what's going to happen? Now you're going to love him. This goes back to we talking about in Proverbs 17:9. He that cover for transgression seek love. Yahuwah was seeking for you to love, honor, and respect him back by covering your sins. Is that not what he did? He said he loved the world. He gave his only begotten son. So he was covering your transgressions, seeking that you might love him. But nobody likes to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? You should be ashamed if you was a hoe. You should be ashamed if you was a lesbian, if you was an adulterer, if you were a thief, if you were an idolater. You should be ashamed of it. What is there to be proud about? We live in a society now where niggas is proud to be talking about he a killer. What's that little funny looking boy with the rainbow hair?
Shiitake?
Yeah. This nigga talking about ain't nobody gonna try me, test my gangster. Nigga, that's nothing to be proud of, cuz you gonna run up on somebody who really want to test your gangster, and now you could be dead. And for what? But the little boy ain't stupid. But at the same token, nigga think that's cool. Niggas think that's cool to be an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing cool about that. Coming up in most of our neighborhood, we think it's cool to sell dope because everybody in your neighborhood is selling dope. Everybody's poor, so you look at a nigga who's selling dope and he got money, he got women, and you think that's cool to participate in. Till you actually start participating in it, and then you realize this is horrible. If you really participating in it, you know what I'm saying? See, if you petty hustling and playing around, you don't see the other side of the game. You know what I'm saying? Because when you participate in it, you see death and destruction every single day. That's what you see. And you got to go to sleep at night knowing that you participate in that if you got a conscience. You know what I'm saying? When you start hearing about, yeah, boy, such and such got killed, or you see all these junkies around here, or I done had a dude offer to rent his son for some rocks. Do you know what I'm saying? He done sold all the little boy stuff out the room. Now he like this here, just give me a 60, man. You can hold him. Man, I'm like, man, you need to get your... Oh, no, I was with my homeboy. That was his customer.
What you want to do with the boy?
Watch him, I guess, for some dope.
You said rent.
Yeah, I'm making rent.
Oh, no, he wasn't tricking him out.
You say rent, nigga.
Lease, rent, whatever you want to call it. Put him on layaway. Nigga put his son on layaway for $60 worth of crack. My homeboy said a white dude came at him one time and be like, man, straight menace to society. Tried him just like that.
Got too cheap, bro.
Straight up and down. Tried him just like, happen more often than you think. When we were talking about the other day, nigga cracking joke, it's a lot of nice looking women smoke rocks. It's a lot of professional people smoke rocks.
But they ain't being grimy though, right?
So
They
shoot.
got the cash.
Just because you got the cash to buy dope don't mean these niggas ain't grabbing.
I'm just saying, he ain't doing it like that.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Nigga, they come up and pick up their kids, coming to buy dope, smoke crack in front of the kids. You know what I'm talking about? And then the byproduct of whatever their behavior that they might be participating in front of the kids, you are a participant in this. The beefing that niggas go through about the selling of narcotics, niggas who dead behind selling narcotics, the niggas you know who done got jammed up and got years behind a nigga snitching behind narcotics. The fact that you gotta live your whole life looking over your shoulder with your hand on your trigger just because you think this nigga coming to get you. This how you gotta live your life. You know what I'm saying? Not on some, I want to kill somebody, I want to shoot somebody, but you don't never know what this person's intention is, and you got to be ready to plug him at all times. And this your own kind. With some dope you selling that you ain't even bringing here. Just because you thought it was a better way. Or how these lame niggas thinking it's cool, then they get locked up, and the next thing you know, they washing the nigga drawers out in the sink in the prison house. Straight up. I'll tell you that's how the game changed. In prison, it was a dishonorable thing if you washed a nigga drawers. These niggas getting paid to wash niggas drawers. You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, I wash up. You know what I'm saying? And all that, because they need the money, because they people ain't sending them nothing. I ain't washing no grown man drawers, cuz.
I'll give you my 3 hots, baby.
Shoot, them 3 hots ain't gonna do nothing for you when you smelling like a polecat. You know what I'm talking about?
They don't get washed. They ain't part of the regular.
Man, shoot, boy, what that little bit of soap gonna do? They ration that soap. You know what I'm talking about? They used to give us a whole bar. When I left, they were breaking all pieces, and it gotta last a week. Nigga, you don't get no deodorant. They ain't giving you no toothpaste.
Oh, yup, man.
So the toothpaste I need for down.
Oh, they do give you toothpaste. I take that back. They do give you some more cheap behind toothpaste. They ain't give you no deodorant though.
At the rec and basketball.
Shoes, you better sit on your bunk. Don't you go out there.
Talking about regular basketball, nigga. You don't gotta be doing that, nigga. You gonna stink regardless. You gonna sell.
No white folks working you depending where you at. Shoot, niggas get hungry, cuz. Them little 3 meals ain't gonna do nothing. You're a grown man. Nigga, ain't no seconds, cuz. Get full till you want them. Come on, man. That's the other side of the game. That truck ain't sweet, cuz. That's the other side of the game. Nobody want to have that conversation. Boy, the worst thing in the world, look a young man in the face and see him walk away with 30 years, boy. You know what I'm saying? Seeing somebody weak because they son dead. Shoot. Okay. And next thing you know, and then some of your homeboys who was out here in these streets, boy, them niggas were doing ungodly things on the strength. Up that road, boy. I done seen these niggas. You be like, boy, that nigga a killer? Not in here.
I'm gonna get him killed now, baby.
Not in here. Or he killing. Cause boy, I knew a nigga. Boy, I knew that nigga on the street, in the jailhouse. Boy, that nigga got out the road. That nigga was a bandit. I said, boy, I ain't know you live like this, cuz. Don't talk to me when we go home. Nigga only had 2 years. Nigga only had 2 years, cuz. Nigga always talking about, oh, that nigga got 15. They got to get live. Shoo. Them niggas got 6 months. They round here like this here. They think they inside them. Come on, man. We in verse 45. I gotta crank it up a minute. Matthew 13:45. I'm gonna tell you this stuff because guess what though? Because guess what? The reason why I mentioned all that? Because when Proverbs 1:7 say, when sinners entice thee, consent thou not. I didn't ask y'all the question. Whether you in the word or not in the word. Boy, when you got sinner friends, boy, they make ungodliness look so beautiful to you. They make it look great. They make it sound like it's the most important thing in the world. But they're not going to tell you the other side of the game, that your soul is dying. You know what I'm saying? Your soul is dying. They're going to tell you the other side of the game. They're just going to tell you how great it is. Come on, girl. We can have sex. It ain't going to hurt nothing. God going to forgive us. Then you going to hell. Come on, man. 13:45. He ain't ready.
I'm ready. Again, the kingdom of shamayim is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls.
Seeking what?
Goodly pearls.
Go ahead.
Who, when he found one pearl of a great price, went and sold all that he had and bought.
Pause. Now we hit the other thing, right? We talked about go back to Proverbs 8, because that's where we started. And we gonna hit Revelation 3. He said a goodly pearl. Any of y'all ever seen real pearls? Real pearls different than a lot of pearls that we see most women wear. They just got seashells around their neck. Real pearls are expensive. Very expensive. Go ahead, finish that Proverbs 8.
It said that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. Yahuwah possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was.
Pause. I still didn't hear what I came here for. Did you read? You skipped verse 19.
Durable riches and riches. Not sure.
No.
My
that's
fruit
18.
is better than gold. That's why I stopped.
My
fruit is better than
his
gold.
fruit is better than what?
Gold,
Mm-hmm.
yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver.
Now let's look at revenue and fruit.
The revenue.
Little revenue. Everybody like a little revenue.
To bull.
Everybody like a little revenue. When we look at fruit, I ain't got that type of time. We got parade, which is produce of the ground or offspring or the fruit of the actions. So he said his fruit of his actions is better than what? Gold. Then he said his revenue is better than choice silver. Or again, this is his produce or his product. It's also the gain of wisdom. How many of y'all feel like wisdom is something that you would want to gain? When we look at choice, of course, you got bakar, which is to elect or to be chosen. So when we look at that, give me Revelation 3:19. He say his fruit of his actions is better than gold. After Revelation 3:19, give me James chapter 2, verse 5.
As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. Mm-hmm. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in.
Give me verse 17.
It said, because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with goods and have need for nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked.
Let me ask y'all a question. How many times y'all ever seen celebrities talk about how miserable they are? And you know the average person thinking how these people can be miserable. They got all this money, they got all these cars, they buy all these fancy clothes, and they miserable. And that's what ain't that what Mashiach just said? You got all this stuff, but you don't realize you wretched and you miserable. Go ahead.
It says, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear.
Now he said, I counsel that you buy of me what? Choice gold?
Choice gold tried in the fire.
Proverbs 23:20. See where that fire come in at? When we were talking about to make that living whole. That nigga crying like somebody trying to assault him. Proverbs 23 and 23.
It says, buy the truth and sell it not.
Do what with the truth?
Buy the truth and sell it not.
Do what with it?
Buy the truth and sell it not.
And that's what he said about that goodly pearl. He went and bought it. He sold everything he had and went and purchased it. Go ahead.
Also wisdom and instruction and understanding.
Let me ask y'all a question. Who in this book sold everything they had to get a goodly pearl? It doesn't have to necessarily be a literal pearl. Who sold everything they had to get something from Yahuwah? When you look at selling, it also can be walking away or forsaking or abandoning.
The apostles.
Yeah, they did. What do you say?
He said Abraham.
Abraham is one. He walked. Did he not tell him to leave his whole family and everything he had? And what did he leave it for? The kingdom of shamayim. He left it for the promise of Elohim to dwell in his kingdom. Where was he going to tell him to go dwell at in the land of what? Where the kingdom of Elohim going to be at? He sold everything he had for that goodly pearl. He saw it was of great price for him to follow Yahuwah. See, that's the mind that you have to have. Because that's the mind the son had. Come on, man. No, give me Matthew chapter 18. I'll come back to that other part of 13. Give me Matthew 18 and 23.
Therefore is the kingdom of shamayim likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants.
When he say take account of his servants, who are his servants? In this passage, who are his servants? Let's see. Continue.
And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him which owed him 10,000 talents. But for as much as he had not to pay, his master commanded him to be sold, and his wife and children, and all that he had, and the payments to be made. The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Master, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. Then the master of the servant was moved with compassion and loosed him and forgave him the debt. But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants which owed him 100 pence, and he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me what thou owest. And his fellow servant.
Let me ask y'all a question. Right? Did Saul sin against David? When David had an opportunity to forgive him, did he do so? When Absalom sinned against David, did he forgive him? Let me ask you a question. When Adonijah sinned against Solomon, what did Solomon do?
That was his brother.
That was his brother. He killed him.
About the sister, right?
No, he asked for Solomon's wife.
Okay.
As he should have died.
What was the one with the sister?
Oh, that he killed him too.
What was his name?
I can't recall his name at the
Yeah,
moment. That's the one laid down with Tamar, and he killed him too, as he should have died. He raped his sister. You know what I'm saying? Can y'all think of anybody who was forgiven and then didn't forgive somebody else?
Who was forgiven and didn't forgive?
Because that's what he's telling you with this parable. It's a very hard question because there ain't many examples for it.
Yeah, brainstorming.
It's kind of a trick question, but nevertheless.
Somebody who forgave and didn't forgive.
I was thinking about LeBron, how Jacob forgave LeBron. LeBron realized what he did to Jacob, but he still did it wrong.
Yeah, but see, the difference is Jacob didn't do Laban. See, Laban would have had to forgave Jacob, and then Jacob would have had to turn around and did evil to somebody else and not forgave them. And he didn't do that. The reason why it's a trick question, because the answer for that question is Yasharal. Because Yahuwah forgave us numerous times. And we could go read in Nehemiah how they were taking their own people in bondage, and they had to tell them, you need to set them people free. You dead wrong. Or how the fact that we had grudges against one another as a people and didn't forgive. You know what I'm talking about? So that's why I say it's a trick question, because it's not going to be a direct individual. Because see, this is what he likened the kingdom of Shamayim as. The kingdom of Shamayim is about what? Forgiveness. Which takes us back to what we were talking about with the reign of Elohim. Because he said, what is his attributes? Forgiveth what? Sin, transgression, and iniquity. See, again, everybody look at the kingdom of heaven, this, son, this, that, and the third, and it takes you back to your behavior. That's why he say my fruit is better than gold. You know what I'm saying? Because of the produce of my actions. My actions are better than gold. You understand what I'm telling you? Keep on reading that in that Matthew 18. Ain't that amazing? That's what he likened it to, because that takes us back to he that covereth for transgression seek love. Because he said if there were not forgiveness with him, who would stand? He said if he would mark, this is Psalms 130. He said if he would mark iniquity, who shall stand? He said there's forgiveness with thee that you might be feared or that he might be respected. A nigga can't scream to me nothing about respect and he don't respect you who about obeying his word. Don't talk to me about no respect. Respect your daddy. That's what you do. Go ahead.
It said, his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. And he would not, but went and cast him into the prison that he should pay the debt. So when his fellow servant saw what was done...
Now, hold on, right? And I missed that, and that's my apologies, right? In verse 27, it said the master was moved with compassion and paid the debt.
Forget it.
You know what I'm saying? No, I said it like that for a reason. Because why? Because Yahushua seen that you were in your sins and had compassion and paid. Because the wages of sin is what? So Yahushua went and paid that price. Remember, you're bought with a price. So honor Elohim in your body and Ruach, which are Elohim. You were not redeemed with corruptible things like silver and gold from the vain behavior of your fathers, but by the blood of Mashiach as a lamb without spot and blemish. You sold yourselves for naught. You'll be redeemed without money. You know what I'm saying? He say with his little process, nigga here retarded. You understand what I'm saying? But do you see how he's telling you? He's pointing you to forgiveness. Because this is what the kingdom of shamayim is about. Because that's why he's likening it to that. Because that is what Yahuwah is about. He's a forgiving Elohim. He say he's merciful and forgive numerous times throughout this book. That's why the Christians tricked me out. That New Old Testament God didn't have no grace of forgiveness. Are you serious? What have you been reading? You know how many times this man talk about forgiving people? Well, he forgave Saul a couple times before he crashed him. All these people. Manasseh, Hezekiah. Now with Samson, he didn't have to forgive Samson for anything because everything Samson with, y'all set that up. And it actually tells you that he set that up. He forgave David because David pronounced death against his own life. The whole nation of Yasharal on numerous occasions. What about Nineveh? Shoot. What about Nebuchadnezzar? Shall I continue? But I shall not. Continue on, sir.
It said, but we had jumped down a little bit. We had 31. It says, so when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry and came and told their master all that was done. Then his master after that called him and said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that debt because thou desiredest me.
See that desire will take us to what we talking about. Because you saw me beautiful and pleasurable and it brought joy to your heart. You beseech me for mercy. Go ahead.
It says, shouldest not thou also have compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee? And his master was wroth and delivered him to the tormentors till he should pay all that was due unto him. Mm-hmm. So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if ye from your hearts forgive not every one his brother their trespasses.
See, and that's almost to the certain extent of what we were talking about before. You can forgive somebody and not necessarily fool with them. Because remember, he told you that in Proverbs, in Matthew 18. He said if they didn't want to hear you, if they didn't want to hear 2-3 witnesses, if they didn't want to hear the body, then treat him like a heathen man and a publican. But you would have had to forgive him at that point, would you not? I just don't fool with you no more, because clearly we don't have respect for heathens. And why do we don't, as a Yahudim, why you don't have respect for a heathen? Because they don't got respect for Yahuwah. But does that mean you walk around and say, you wicked heathen bastard Jew? You don't walk around and do none of that. You know what I'm talking about? But I don't fool with you. Because see, there's something that happens when you go to fooling with heathens. They corrupt your good manners. They corrupt your good manners. I seen dudes arguing about that today. We all know why Yahuwah told you not to mix with the nations. Because you're going to be out here sinning, you keep on fooling with them. Give me Matthew 22. Twenty-two and 1.
It said, Yahushua answered and spoke unto them again by parable, saying, the kingdom of shamayim is likened to a certain king which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden into the wedding, and they would not come.
We talked about it a little bit last night when he called for Samuel. What Samuel did? He came. Give me Isaiah 66, verse 3.
It said, he that killeth an ox as if he slew a man, he that sacrifices a lamb as he cut off a dog's neck.
A dog's neck.
He that offer an oblation as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense as if he beroothed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighteth in their abominations. I also will choose their delusions and bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer,
and when I spake,
none did hear. But they did evil before my eyes and chose that which.
So when you called that, when he called Samuel, what Samuel did? When he called Moses, what did Moses do? He answered. That's why I mentioned that to y'all last night. You ever heard your name called? When they asked somebody, did they call you and they told you they didn't call you? That ever happened to 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 you, bro? That ever happened to you, bro? I know I didn't answer that before. It's not the first time I had this. Like, for real, though. And that very well could have been your God calling you. You know what I'm saying? And you coming in there to answer. Because guess what? Some people may not even come. Because let's just say if it was your mama calling you or your daddy calling you and you heard that, man, I ain't going to see what that nigga want. You know what I'm saying? And then and the whole time it was Yahuwah calling you. You don't even know. Malachi could have been in the room waiting on you. Mom dude could have slid out to the store, ain't even tell you. Malachi could have been standing there for a message for you, ain't even come get it. I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying that that's what that is or what would happen. Just an example. Because we were talking about this other day, right? Yahuwah don't speak to a lot of people. Why y'all think he don't speak to a lot of people? It's a very simple answer. Huh? I mean, that's to a certain extent. Because they ain't going to listen. Why would I talk to somebody and give somebody instructions and tell somebody to do something if I know you're not going to listen? Do you know what I'm saying? What's the point? Would you sit back and keep talking to your kids if you know they ain't going to listen? You going to put them niggas out your house. Not fooling with this nigga. I done told this nigga wash my dishes when he dirty them all. I told him keep your room clean. I told him don't bring no F's in here or no babies. This nigga brought in here super F's and 3 babies. You can't live here. This is what we talking about. What you talking about your homeboy? Nigga got dope at his mama house. Boy, you can't live here and bring that in my house. You got dope. Guess what? Black people turn their head to that. They know he got a room full of dope. Pistols and all. Then he go to jail and get killed. That's my baby. He wasn't doing nothing wrong. He was the worship leader at the church. This nigga ain't been to church since he was 7. You know what I'm talking about? How this nigga the worship leader? He ain't never been. Soon as he got old enough where you couldn't force him to go, he stopped going. Now you want to put up pictures of him when he was that age. Not the hellion that he became, that you turn your head to. Then get mad at somebody when they tell the truth, ma'am, your son was a delinquent. I know my son. I know you know him. You ain't mad because he dead. You mad because he ain't bringing that dope money in here to help pay your bills no more. That's what you really mad about. Because you ain't care nothing about him. That's why you condone what he was doing. See, nobody want to hear that one now. Because if you really love your son, you say, son, you know you want to sell drugs? That's great. Get out my house, though. And you wouldn't take not now Russian corn. Not now. You ain't even want. I don't want your money. Come on, man. We still in Matthew 22. See, black people don't like that type of conversation. We done with it.
Oh, my bad.
No, I'm saying we done with it. We done with that. The black people don't like to hear that because that'll make them feel good. Don't take that dope money from that boy you don't agree with it. Then they take all the nigga dope money. Then when he get locked up, they don't want to send him no money. I'm not coming to send you no money. I'm not visiting you. You got yourself in there. Well, where was that when you were getting?
Paying the light bill and the cable, baby.
Where was that then, nigga? You better drop some money in these books, nigga. I'm hungry. Then you got some parents who they condone that their shoe. They coming to get that nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Don't worry about it, baby. I got you. I get you a lawyer. Shoot, put their house up and all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? They were riding with him when he was on the street. They gonna ride with him when it's ugly too.
My baby.
I just appreciate the consistency. Don't have nothing negative to say about what he was doing and you were benefiting from it. Shoot, you go ahead and ride with him all the way out. You know what I'm talking about? But if you a hypocrite then, Gail, I don't know why that boy was out there doing that stuff. I didn't raise him like that. You know what I'm talking about? That junk that dirty.
That's how they beat him.
That junk that dirty. Go ahead, man.
Crazy.
That junk dirty.
Yeah, 22 and 4. Again, he sent another servant, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all.
You know, we just dealt with this not too long ago, so we're gonna slide on through it. So he just told you, I got meat for you. Come on.
Coming to the marriage, but they made light of it and went their way. One to his farm, another to his merchandise.
That's what always happened with our people. Somebody coming to tell you to meet y'all, and I got things to do. Go ahead.
And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. But when the king heard of thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burnt up their city. Then said he unto his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which are hit are bidden.
Notice how he say he destroyed those murderers and burnt up their city. Come on.
Those that were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment.
And what he say to him?
And he said unto him, friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment?
Where your wedding garment at?
And he was speechless.
He was what?
Speechless.
He was what?
Speechless. Then said the king to the servants, bind him hand and foot and take him away and cast him into the outer darkness.
There shall be what?
Weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Now we just talked about this, right? Go to Luke chapter 14 and verse 15. What's the purpose of this particular parable? What is the three things? It's four things that you could point out that he likened the kingdom of shamayim to. The first thing he likened to was preaching. And when he preached the word, nobody heard it. So the kingdom of shamayim is likened unto the preaching of the basar, or the good tidings. The second thing that he mentioned, hold on, before you get that Luke 14, give me Matthew 5 and 16, I want to say, or 5 and 10. Is it 5 and 10? Yeah, it's 5 and 10.
Baruch thou thee which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of shamayim.
Who was persecuted for righteousness' sake? Samson, Jeremiah. You go on and on. They were all persecuted for the king. Zechariah, who was stoned. Daniel. All of these men were persecuted for one reason, because if they were persecuted for righteousness' sake, that means they was teaching and preaching and saying the things that were correct. Because what did Matthew say? It said that they killed this man's servants, didn't it? We talked about that. That's in 2 Chronicles 36. They took the prophets, they laughed at them, they mocked them, they killed them. That's why I always tell y'all, you ain't got no problem with no white man when it comes to the word. The problem gonna be with the people who say they believe as you do. They gonna be the one gonna kill you. When they shoot, it's never, like Ice Cube put it, when they shoot, it ain't gonna be no cracker. It's always gonna be somebody much blacker. Them white folks ain't finna. Why do people care about killing you about your God? They don't care nothing about that. They ain't got nothing to do with us. Ain't nowhere in that book you see too many times they killed you about your God other than read about Antiochus. You know what I'm saying? Antiochus is the only person that I can think of off the top of my head that's associated with anything that could be considered to be biblical text that killed anybody for being a brew. Haman just wanted the honor. He ain't really cared nothing about them being brewed. He was mad because Mordecai didn't bow to him. If Mordecai would have bowed to him, the thought wouldn't even crossed his mind. You know what I'm saying? It ain't had nothing to do with because they were bruised or how they live. This nigga won't bow to me. That was it. You know what I'm saying? Every time and Mordecai wasn't even no prophet. Mordecai, every time somebody got persecuted in this book, they were persecuted by another Hebrew. Go ahead. No, I'm saying, but he wasn't persecuting Mordecai because of what Mordecai was preaching. He didn't want to kill Mordecai because Mordecai ain't bow his knee to him. He ain't care nothing about what we were doing. What's the next thing we sit back and look at? Then you got the marriage supper of the Lamb. And then you got the wedding garments, which is the Ruach versus not having a Ruach. And then you got nigga going to hell who ain't have no Ruach. And this is what so what did he liken the kingdom of shamayim to? Those who don't hear the word and the judgment that will be rendered upon them for not believing the word. See, nobody want to have that conversation. Because those who believe the word, how would these people who came to this wedding feast would have known to put on a wedding garment, and then some people came to the wedding feast and didn't put on one? That means somebody heard the message and say, let me get my clothes on, and somebody else heard the same message and disregarded it.
I thought what they did was going to be enough.
And thought what they did was going to be enough. But not everybody who says, Master, Lord, Lord, will enter into my kingdom. But those who do the will of my Father, which is in shamayim, they will. See, you notice when you look at all these parables, how he likened the kingdom to, it's according to your behavior and your belief. Continue on, man. Luke 14 and 15.
It says, and when one of them that sat at meat with him heard these things, he said unto him, Baruch is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of shamayim, or the kingdom of Elohim.
That's a blessed thing to eat bread in that place, ain't it? Go ahead, though.
Then said he unto him, a certain man made a great supper and bade many, and sent his servants at supper time to say to them that were bidden, come, for all things are now ready. Mm-hmm. And they all with one consent began to make it.
Now this different than the marriage supper, the marriage feast. He just said he made a supper, but he said they all begin to make a what?
Excuse.
I got a reason why I can't do right. You know it's hard in this flesh. Man, them hoes be looking good though, bro. I like to get high. I like to drink. Whatever niggas come up with. Come on.
He said, the first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. I pray thee have me.
I done bought some land. I need to go look at it. But remember the one with the goodly pearl? They sold everything they had to get it. Go ahead.
And the other said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I have to go prove. I have to go prove them. I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come.
He said, whoo-hoo!
I gotta get me some butter.
I got some booty to the house, sir. Surely you must understand this. Surely
you can excuse me, brother.
Excuse me. But remember what he said. Everybody who's forsaken land, we see that there, right?
Father, mother, wife,
all that. He said
children.
to get 100-fold. Come on, matter of fact, give me that. Matthew 19 and 25.
It said, when the disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, who then can be saved?
Yep.
But Yahushua beheld them and said unto him, with men this is impossible, but with Elohim all things are possible. And then answered Peter, he said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all.
We have what?
Forsaken all. And
Go
who
ahead.
has followed thee? What shall we have therefore?
What did the master say?
And Yahushua said unto him, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me, and the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his esteem, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Yasharal.
Go ahead.
Everyone that hath forsaken houses or brother.
Forsaken what? Houses?
Or brother. Mm-hmm. Sisters or fathers or mothers or wife or children or lands for
what?
my name's sake.
For lands? For his what?
Name's sake.
What will they receive?
100-fold.
Woo.
And shall inherit everlasting life.
Woo. Them boys didn't want that.
But many that are first shall be last.
And the last shall be first. Come on back. See, that's a lot of people don't want to walk away from nothing to get this man kingdom. They say, I just got a wife, man. Come on, man. This nigga say, I got 5 oxen I need to prove. You need to test them out, see if they can tread the land. Them niggas ain't going nowhere. Tie them niggas up and sit your behind down. I got to prove them. Man, I just bought some land. And nigga say, I got to go see it. What, is the land going to grow legs and run away? Nigga, it's going to be there tomorrow.
There's excuses.
Go ahead, man.
Excuses. You want 19?
We in verse 21 in Luke chapter 14. Now this verse 21 gonna sound like what we just read in Isaiah. Listen to what it says.
So the servant came and showed his master these things. When the master of the house, being angry, said unto the servant, Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor.
Bring in the who?
The poor.
Bring in the who?
The maimed, and the halt, and the blind.
Pause. Now go get James 2 and 5. He said go get the poor, the halt, the maimed,
The deaf and the blind.
the deaf and the blind. Remember we talked about the blind. The blind were those who couldn't see. Now Yahushua done called open your eyes to behold wondrous things out of his Torah. The maimed are those who are broken. He came to heal the brokenhearted. Go ahead, man.
James 2
And 5.
It says, Hearken, my beloved brethren, have not Elohim chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith?
Ain't that who? Is that not who he just chose? Go ahead.
And heirs of the kingdom which he had promised to them that love him?
That's good. He said they were rich in what?
Rich in heart.
Rich in faith. Ain't that what we seen in Proverbs? Ain't that who he say he just chose? We can read this king and just say, go get the poor then, since the rest of these niggas don't want to listen. Come on back to Luke 14. Hey, Sire, you sit down because he following you.
It said, the servant said, It is done as you have commanded, and yet there is room. And the master said unto the servant,
Now I'm
Go
gonna ask
out
y'all a
to-
question. With that, it just hit my mind. With that parable of him going out into the city, and he told him to go get the poor, the lame, and the blind, and the halt. What is that reminiscent of another parable that Yahushua spit? That goes along them same lines. Hello, Eugene.
A parable?
Yeah.
I thought that was the one he told all the people to come for the feast. Come in.
Well, he used a parable in describing this here, right? He used this parable in describing this when he, well, really it's a question he asked. Let me rephrase that. When he asked pertaining to John the Baptist. He said John the Baptist, was his immersion from shamayim or men?
Yeah.
And what did the Pharisees answer? They did answer. They said we be careful in this matter. If we say of men, then he'll say, why didn't you believe him? If we say of Elohim, he'll say, why didn't you believe him? If we say of men, the people will stone us because we believe him to be a prophet. Their answer was, we cannot answer. You know what I'm saying? So he said, I will not answer you. He said, John came in the way of righteousness and you believed him not. Say the Pharisees and the publicans and the harlots heard and they believed, therefore they'll enter into the kingdom of shamayim before you. So those who are oppressed and destroyed and been humbled, the poor, they gonna get in because he went to send to everybody. So all those people who think they somebody and they think they this, that, and the third, they not gonna get in. That's why I'll be tripping on dudes. And I ain't got no problem with it, right? Listen, with most brews, the first thing they scream is we need to wake up our brews and our people who in them churches. Man, screw them niggas in them churches. Go to the slums, my nigga. You niggas don't want to go wake up to nobody in the hood. You want to run to these churches where it's safe at. You know what I'm talking about? Because the ones in the hood, they the one need to hear it. Because them niggas sitting in the church house ain't trying to hear nothing. You know what I'm talking about? They ain't trying to hear nothing. I'm dead serious though, because guess what? Yahushua wouldn't go in the synagogue because that's where the Yahudim resorted at. But that man was in the street where the people was at. If he was going to be out talking about going to wake somebody up, that's all niggas scream, we got to wake up our people out the churches. Man, screw them churches, my nigga, going around there to them jets, man. Them boys ain't going to mess with you, I promise they not. You know what they going to be looking at? Shoot, I can't even believe them nigga came around here, be honest. That's what they going to look at. Them boys actually came around here. And they ain't come out here trying to get nothing from us. See, the main reason why most people in the hood don't trust nobody coming with the word, because they trying to get something from you when you come. Or it's a photo op or PR. You know what I'm saying? Nigga just coming just to come. I'm finna sit down and school you real quick, man, and I'm gonna slide. Shoot. You gonna be back after a while, you come back a few times, they gonna be like this here, you gonna be back next week. They may not hear you. You know how I know this? Because I done it. They may not even follow nothing you say, but they appreciate you coming though. Because ain't nobody else coming to talk to him. See, he ain't talking about setting something up. Go around there and holler at them. These niggas ain't finna go around there and holler at nobody. I just told you that earlier. Every time you see a brew preaching on the street, where they preaching at?
Downtown.
Why they don't never go in the hood? But you waking your people up. Who go downtown?
All our people catch the bus. All the poor
Riverside in front of that museum, you said?
Yeah, them niggas were down there in front of the Cummer. Ain't no black people in front of the Cummer Museum.
The niggas he hit up, them niggas was on what?
Oh, yeah,
Them boys on Cleveland Avenue.
I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah, I respect them for that one.
I ain't got no problem with that. They in the hood. They wasn't downtown. Shoot, if you been in Jacksonville long enough, you know you ain't got no business going downtown talking about preaching to nobody.
They say we preaching to the homeless out here.
Shoot, them niggas preaching to the concrete. Cause that's the only person out there. Come on back to Luke 14. All right, Eugene.
But if you look at them Jehovah's Witnesses be like that too.
Well, they go anywhere.
But them Jehovah's Witnesses be at the corner store on Saturday morning in the whatever hood.
And the Mormons, nigga. How the Mormons got more heart than these niggas?
On a bicycle.
The Mormons,
In the hood.
the Mormons do be in the hood too. Can't lie.
The Mormons be in the hood.
Be in the hood.
On the bicycle. Let me tell you about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You ever heard of a Latter-day Saint? They out there though. They in the hood. You don't see too many brews in the hood. But you niggas supposed to come from the hood. Don't understand it. Don't understand it. Nigga, everybody in here know that for the most part. With a brew screen, we gotta wake up our people out them churches. Shoot, nigga, I'd rather be in the street where my people at, nigga. I don't relate to nobody in no church. I ain't never been in no church for in my life. So I already know I'm not gonna be able to relate to them. They gonna look at me, as y'all already know, that nigga ain't no preacher. Look how he act and how he talk. Your man ain't. You know what I'm talking about? I care less. Dead serious though. I'm more comfortable with, nigga, I done been to, nigga, I like this here, right? If you ain't comfortable around your own people, something wrong with you. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm comfortable around black people. I don't care where I find them at. I'd rather be around black people personally. It's just me. Come on, man. You look like you're tired. Ain't nothing against white folks. I would raise white folks prefer to be around white folks. And I ain't mad at them. Shoot, you tend to gravitate to your own kind. I don't know why people think there's a problem with that. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean you hate white people. Doesn't mean they hate black people. I have more in common with you. You know what I'm saying? We relate to each other on many different levels. You could be the white person that relate to you on different levels. You say, you know what? You could be my friend, and vice versa. It's not that big of a deal. Go ahead, man. Back in Luke
23.
You finished that. You're in 22. No, you're in 22.
I read that as well.
All right, come on.
23. It's saying the master said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that the houses may be filled. For I say unto you that none of the men that were bidden shall taste of my supper.
It's the same thing when he told the scribes. He said, you know what? The kingdom of shamayim gonna be taken from you and given to a nation who bring forth the fruits thereof. When you don't want to hear and you make an excuse for not doing what you're supposed to be doing, that man say you will not sit at his table. See, he accidentally read the verse in Revelation 3 when I meant 17, and he read 20 when he said, if I knock at the door and any man open, I will come in and sup with him, and I will gird myself and serve him. Could you imagine how niggas, imagine if Yahushua actually came to you himself and say, yeah, man, come eat with me. And you say, you know what, no, man, I got to go to work today. What type of sense does that really make? Back to Matthew 13 and 47. Well, we got to slide. I can continue this with Passover. We got plenty of days. Matthew 13 and 47.
It said again, the kingdom of shamayim is likened to a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew it to shore and sat down and gathered the good into the vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world.
Where can we sit back and look at the law where he said he gathered up the good and the bad and got rid of the bad?
Exodus, Levites, and they separated themselves.
I can accept that. Indeed, he said who was on Yah's side, and they gathered up the good and the bad and killed the bad. What were the bad doing?
Worshiping idols.
They were worshiping idols. Can anybody else think of another example of where Yah gathered up the good and the bad and did the same thing?
Sodom and Gomorrah.
I can accept that. Nehemiah, that's when they were coming out. And they were actually sleeping with strange women. The example I was going to use is when we went into Babylon. Because he said he set some aside for what? The sword, some for pestilence, and some for famine. But people like Daniel, they were spared. You know what I'm saying? And they were actually brought in a kingdom realm and sat there to serve. If you understand what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he going to do. Read that next verse you was on. I have a few more examples of this, but we got to slide.
It says, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered good into the vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world.
So shall it be at what?
The end of the world.
What's going to happen?
The Malachim shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the
Now
just.
pause. Now we get to the end of what we started with at the beginning with Numbers chapter 24, right? Let's go back and reread Numbers chapter 24 and in that Proverb 29. Because he said he'll do what? Sever the wicked from the what? The just.
Numbers 24.
24 and 9. 24 and 8.
It says, Elohim brought him forth out of Egypt.
So we already established that when we were looking at the 3 measures of dry meal that Yahuwah brought Yahusha out of the grave. Continue.
It says, he had as it were the strength of a unicorn. He shall eat up the nations his enemies and shall break their bones and pierce them through with his arrows. Mm-hmm. He couched and he lay down as a lion, as a great lion. Who shall stir him up?
Who will what?
Stir him up.
Who will stir Yahusha up? The beast and the false prophet will stir him up, because he'll be doing what? Blaspheming the name of Elohim and his tabernacle. Go ahead.
Baruch is he that Baruch thee, and cursed is he that cursed thee.
Revelation 11 and 17.
It says, saying, we give thanks, O Yahuwah Elohim Al Shaddai, which art, was, and art to come, because thou hast taken thy great power and hast reigned.
He what?
He has taken thy great power and has reigned.
Go ahead.
And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servant the prophet.
Didn't we see that in that parable with the marriage supper? Didn't we see that parable with the regular supper? That he took his enemies and slew them, and that those who came that took heed, they got a reward. Don't Revelation 1 and 7 talking about every eye shall see him and they shall what? Wail because of him. You know what I'm talking about? We don't have to hit all the places where he talk about killing them with wrath, but now we go back to that Proverb 29 and 2, right? He says that when the righteous are in authority or are much, the people what? Rejoice. Jeremiah 33 and 10. After Jeremiah 33 and 10, I figured out.
Thus said Yahuwah again, there shall be heard in this place which ye say shall be desolate, without man and without beast, even the cities of Yehuda and the streets of Jerusalem that are desolate, without man and without inhabitant and without beast. Mm-hmm. The voice of joy and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, the voice of the bride, the voice of them that shall say, Halal Yahuwah of hosts, for Yahuwah is good, and his mercy endures forever. And of them that shall bring the sacrifice and praise into the house of Yahuwah, for I will cause to return the captivity of the land, as at the first, says Yahuwah.
Good, that's good. Do you think that'd be a little bit of people or a lot of people making that statement? Let's see. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 10.
It said, and cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation are Elohim, which
because remember, right, when we look at Rabbah, we looked at it as what? The revealing of the head's family. What we just read in Jeremiah 33 was Jeremiah being revealed of Yah's family, giving praise to his name in their house. Now you can go.
It says, and all the Malachim stood around about the throne and about the elders and the 4 beasts, and fell before the throne upon their faces and worshipped Elohim, saying, Amen, Baruch, and esteem is the wisdom and the thanksgiving and the honor and power and might be unto our Elohim forever, ever. Amen.
It was a lot of righteous people in that, right? And they were rejoicing, right, from what we read, right? You know why people don't rejoice in that vein right now? Because there ain't a lot of righteous people. You know what it was in my mind with this, right? Is he saying if it was much, what did he tell Abraham that he would make his seed like? He also said the stars of the sky. What does Genesis chapter 1 tell us about stars? They for signs, but they also are what? The sons of Elohim, and those stars cannot be what? They can't be numbered. That's what he told Job. He told Job, number the stars in the sky since you know so much, nigga. Since you know so much, tell me how many of them up there. Because when the righteous are multiplied or they're much, then the family of Yahuwah is revealed. The household of Yahuwah is revealed. When we look at Jeremiah 33, when we looked at that in Revelation, the household of Yahuwah was revealed. It's the same thing in Ezekiel when he say they were dwelling in unwalled villages in their tents, resting peacefully, because the family of Yahuwah is revealed. Everyone who was born again of Yahushua HaMashiach, the family of Elohim, is revealed. What? This nigga here crazy.
Nah, I was just thinking it sounds good.
Indeed. 13 and 50, Matthew. Well, 51. You already read 50.
It said, Yahushua said unto them, have ye understood all these things? They said unto him, yea, master. Then said unto them, therefore every scribe which is instructed to the kingdom of shamayim is like a man that is a householder, which bringeth forth out of his treasure things new and old.
Let me ask y'all a question. Y'all know what a householder is?
Householder?
Say what? That's correct. It's the master of the house. So he say look at what we're looking at, right? If we looking at being instructed into the kingdom of shamayim, then what's some of the things that we looked at in the last 2 days they would be instructed in? Goodness, gentleness, faith, love, forgiveness, self-control, mercy, brotherly kindness, patience. See, if an individual ain't been instructed in that, then there's no way that they can bring, because he says like a householder, or he's like the master of the house. Hebrews chapter 4 told us who's the master of the house. Or Hebrews chapter 3 told us Yahushua was the master of the house. Then we could even take that back to Moses, because he said Moses was over the house, and Moses was taught in the kingdom of shamayim and had the same attributes as Yahushua had. And he was bringing out of his vessel things new and old too, because he was telling them about stuff that happened before he was even born. How this man gonna be able to sit back? Don't you think him telling about Abraham is old? See, we don't even look at that part when he was teaching them the law. He had to teach them about everything in Genesis too. They didn't know nothing about no Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They didn't know nothing about no creation. He gave Moses that too now. So that means he taught them that too. So he fits them, and see, we'll deal with that during Passover. So, yeah, hallelujah for Yahushua in the word. We'll just.